So yeah, welcome back to another video. I hope you're having a great day. If you're listening to this, then you are the master of your reality. I am the master of my reality, and in today's video, it's going to be a three-part presentation, guys. This is part one of why Bitcoin is fool's gold, basically. Okay, we're going to be talking about why Bitcoin does not make any sense to be the highest market cap cryptocurrency right now. I like to break things down to their most fundamental levels so you don't get misled by all the hype, all the influencers out there. Um, I think it's just important to break things down to their fundamental level. And cryptocurrency at its fundamental level is just a network, okay? A blockchain is essentially a network. All cryptocurrencies are networks, and some just do certain things better than others, right? And while more people than ever before will tell you it's digital gold, all right, that can't be further from the truth. Bitcoin's mysterious origin, its inability to become a more efficient network, and most of all, its lack of utility will be the causes of its downfall. Okay? So, in this three-part series, I'm going to expose all of Bitcoin's flaws and explain why it will lose its place as the highest cryptocurrency market cap this year, okay? And also which cryptocurrency I think will take its spot. All right, if you've been following this channel for any bit now, I'm sure you know which one that is, but we're gonna save that for the end of this presentation. So just a little standard disclaimer, right? Nothing in this video is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. You should never take financial advice from anyone, in my opinion. Should always do your own research and come to your own conclusions. You shouldn't take financial advice from anyone because no one has more incentive to protect and preserve and grow your wealth than anyone else but you. All right. So you should be your own financial advisor. But with that out of the way, let's get into this video. This is part one. Who is Satoshi Nakamoto? Or who are the Satoshi Nakamotos? All right, that's what we're going to talk about in this video. I think it's important to understand the origins of Bitcoin and some of the people that could or could have not been involved with it. For all you Bitcoin holders out there, I'm not making this video to hate on Bitcoin, okay? I don't own any Bitcoin, but that's just because of where I'm at with my research in this space. I'm making this video because of still, as of right now, Bitcoin is the leader in the crypto market space. It is still the number one crypto with the highest market cap. And so it's important to understand why, or try to understand why it has that place. And it doesn't make sense, okay? When something doesn't make sense, but it's getting all the attention, all the eyes are looking at it, but it doesn't make sense, and at the same time, something that does make sense, that has real utility, that technology is much better, it's a better network, yet it's almost forbidden to speak of this thing, and you can guess what I'm talking about. Then I want to look at that thing. I want to look the other way that most people are looking, because when you follow the herd, you get slaughtered, right? The herd is led to the slaughterhouse, and that's kind of where I think Bitcoin is going, is leading people to the slaughterhouse. Everyone's saying, oh, it's a store of value, store of wealth, digital gold. It'll be worth millions of dollars one day. And I think that's what they want you to think, so that you put your hard-earned money in Bitcoin, which is a distraction from what is really actually going to create generational wealth. That's kind of what has led me to the conclusion that Bitcoin is a deep state government psyop. All right, and we're going to get into all that in this presentation, but Bitcoin's essentially a distraction from what the real future financial system will be, which is commodities, like gold, plus distributed ledger technology, cryptocurrency with real utility. Okay, that's the key here. And in next video, we're going to talk about how Bitcoin really doesn't have any real utility. But for this video, we're going to get into Bitcoin's origins, talk about the white paper a little bit, some people, and then some of Bitcoin's more mysterious, shady, beginnings, if you will. Let's just do a quick little overview of the market. Bitcoin's at 67K right now, back down from $73,000. Total market cap value is $2.8 trillion. Wow. CoinGecko says there are 13,000 different cryptocurrencies out there, while old crypto coin market cap is still telling us there's 2.2 million cryptos out there. I'm not sure where the big difference in these two numbers are coming from, but that's what it says. And so again, I'm not making this to hate on Bitcoin. Has had an amazing run this rally so far, up about 350% as we speak. But I do think that this rally is somewhat of a trap, if you will. We actually found out in a previous video that there's a good chance that the all-time high for this cycle is going to be around 75 to 85K. Okay, and we are so close to that. We're basically there. We figured out the diminishing return rate for Bitcoin is 5.3. So if you take the total gains of each cycle, divide that number by 5.3, it will give you the projected gains for the next cycle. So if you take this number right here divided by 5.3, it gives you about 400% return, which is about 77K. So we are like right there. This is red alert. We are in, I think nearing the top of this market. So, and I'm sure lots of you have heard that, oh no, Bitcoin, we're gonna blast through 100K, then 400K, and then $1 million a token because the institutions are buying it all. What institutions? What are they using Bitcoin for? The ETFs? Is that what you're talking about? No, the ETFs are for retail traders. That's what I'm seeing in the charts right now. We are in dangerous territory for Bitcoin, but let's get into who Satoshi Nakamoto is. We're going to start off with the white paper. Okay, so the Bitcoin white paper was released in 2008, directly following the '08 housing market crash. Okay, in this white paper, the creators of Bitcoin, under the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto, describe their peer-to-peer electronic cash network. I don't know how anyone ever fell for this Satoshi Nakamoto, being one person from the get-go, because in the white paper, Satoshi Nakamoto refers to themselves as multiple people, okay? Just here, I'll read a quick segment of the abstract. A purely peer-to-peer version of electronic cash that would allow online payments to be sent directly from one party to another without going through a financial institution. Okay, digital signatures provide part of the solution, but the main benefits are lost if a trusted third party is still required to prevent double spending. We propose a solution to the double spending problem using a peer-to-peer network. All right, so right off the bat, you have Satoshi Nakamoto referring to themselves as we, not I, Satoshi Nakamoto, as an individual. Is we means multiple people. Okay, so right from the white paper. All right, and then just real quick, when they were talking about the mining reward, the steady addition of a constant amount of new coins is analogous to gold miners expending resources to add gold to circulation. Okay, so this is probably where a lot of the digital gold narrative stems from. Okay, but that's just like one little comparative example of how Bitcoin is, somewhat shares attributes of gold. We'll get into why Bitcoin is more alike to fool's gold than anything in the upcoming videos of this series. And then if you scroll down to the conclusion of this white paper, multiple times here, we have proposed a system for electronic transactions without relying on trust. We started with the usual framework of coins made from digital signatures, which provide strong control over ownership, but is incomplete without a way to prevent double spending. To solve this, we proposed a peer-to-peer network using proof of work to record, okay, yada, yada, yada. I just think it's so interesting that no one's ever, I've never heard anyone go back to the white paper and actually say, Satoshi Nakamoto isn't saying I have proposed a system. He's saying we. All right, so from the beginning, we have little hints that it's not one person, it's a group of individuals. All right. Now, thankfully, because of the Homeland Security videos, which we're about to watch, we know that Satoshi Nakamoto is actually a group of 4 people from California, maybe Silicon Valley. I think it's Silicon Valley, but I think they just say California in there. But regardless, the government knows who these 4 individuals are. That's huge. All right, and so let's go to this video now. I'm pretty sure only like people in the XRP community are even aware that this video exists. This video only has like 6,500 views, guys. All right, so but you'll hear this assistant special agent in charge of the Homeland Security investigations, Rana Sound, um, talk about how they went and interviewed the 4 Satoshi Nakamotos. So this video, sadly, we don't get to see her speaking. This video is just like a collage of all the pictures from this event, but we do have the audio. This session was recorded at the Offshore Conference on Financial Intelligence Investigations on April 29, 2019, Miami Beach, Florida. So let's listen to this.
Discuss this. So, one of the things that we really started looking at, apart from the criminal exploitation, is what are the challenges of this cryptocurrency that's out there. And we thought, hey, we looked at Bitcoin. It was the most prevalent at that point. We had seized quite a bit of it, millions of dollars worth, under the Silk Road investigation. So one of our agents who started looking at another online marketplace through the deep web, which was called Black Market Reloaded, they were sending weapons through packages and through ordering them on the dark web. And he was really, really smart, forward-leaning agent. He goes, I want to go interview Satoshi Nakamoto. And we're like, what? He said, yeah, I want to go interview this guy. And at the time, we're like, hey, it's a figment of somebody's imagination. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not true. So, we had all this pushback from our headquarters. And we thought, hey, if an agent wants to go talk to him and we have some money, why don't we send him? Let's find out how this works. So, as it came to be, the agents flew out to California and they realized that he wasn't alone in creating this. There were 3 other people, and they sat down and met with them and talked to them to find out how this actually works and what their reason for it was. And obviously, the reason was not so that criminals would utilize it for nefarious purposes, right? But how many of us know that for years criminals have been utilizing traditional cash for nefarious purposes and finding ways to layer that money and then integrate it into financial institutions? At the end of the day, for us, we're looking at when this is actually liquidated, what they're doing with it, because it just can't sit in a wallet.
Okay, so unfortunately, she doesn't really go into too much detail about their conversations with Satoshi. They just kind of mentioned that, yeah, we went and interviewed them, but and we found out there were 4 of them from California, but that's pretty much all we got. Um, but still, that's huge, okay? And this lady, Rana Sound, all right, this is her. She's a agent at the Department of Homeland Security. So she was the one speaking in this video. So if the government knows who created Bitcoin, why is this such a big secret? Why, and who else knows? There's got to be more people that know other than just, a few people at Homeland Security. This is probably like a secret within the higher classes of society. It's probably like a running joke between them. Everyone thinks, oh, we are Satoshi. This decentralized down with the banks idea. It's all going into this narrative around Bitcoin of a currency like for the people, sound money, digital gold, store of value, all this stuff that is really driving the narrative. It just makes me wonder, why are they going to such an effort to keep this type of stuff hidden? It obviously, the government knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is. Why are they and the media putting so much effort into making sure it stays that way, of just a few people knowing, and the masses still thinking that Satoshi Nakamoto was just some, anonymous, software engineer? We actually have to dive a little bit deeper into Bitcoin's origins and the code itself, to really figure out kind of more about it. Okay, and so one of these little interesting things I'll touch on real quick is this article. Let's see. Sergio, this guy, early Bitcoiner, he actually mapped out all of the Bitcoin that Satoshi mined. Okay, so each one of these little black dots right here. All right, it's kind of hard to see. They look more like lines, but there's a bunch of dots. Each one of those dots is 50 Bitcoin that Satoshi mined. Okay, so this is while he was mining Bitcoin. Um, and he mined about 1.1 million Bitcoin, which is around 5% of the total supply. What I find so interesting is the rate. He was able to outpace all the other miners at the time, by doing what's called multi-threading his CPUs. I'm not like a computer geek or anything, but I'm pretty sure that's what he was doing. He was multi-threading his PC to allow basically all of its resources to go into mining Bitcoin. That's how he was able to mine at such a more extreme rate than these other, miners shown by the red lines. Okay, so all of this Bitcoin, all the 1.1 million Bitcoin that he mined has never been spent. Okay, it's still in these wallets, and so that's not a huge threat. If let's say like these wallets were to dump all this Bitcoin, yeah, that's probably gonna make a dent in the price. But only 5%. It's probably nothing to freak out about. We can freak out about other stuff. Let's try to figure out who. There's four of them, right? So maybe we can figure out two of the Satoshi Nakamotos. Okay, we can do our best. All right, and so I've looked at pretty much all the possibilities out there. If you want to do some more research into who Satoshi might be, some other individuals' possibility of being Satoshi are Hal Finney, Roger Ver, and Arthur Brito. All right, but just ask Homeland Security, okay? Because they know. Um, yeah, so just give our girl Rana Sound a call and say, hey, I want to buy some Bitcoin. But first, I'd like to know who the four creators of it. Who are the four Satoshi Nakamotos? And maybe she'll tell you, because she knows. But anyway, so Craig S. Wright is an individual who has, in the past few years, been making a big noise about claiming to be Satoshi Nakamoto. He claims to be Satoshi Nakamoto. He created Bitcoin SV. It stands for Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, and so he's been making a big ruckus, if you will. But let's see if he could be one of the Satoshis. So he's an Australian computer scientist. Interesting, Australia. Some of the Bitcoin emails from Satoshi Nakamoto, they have like certain words. The spelling of certain words are British or Australian type spelling, like color and stuff like that. He has publicly claimed to be the main part of the team that created Bitcoin. Okay, so they're acknowledging it was a team here. And the identity behind the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto. These claims are regarded as false by much of the media. Everyone's pretty much laughing at him. He does have a pretty good technical background. He has tons of patents out on cryptography. Unfortunately, our boy Craig has just been taking L after L after L. he registered a U.S. copyright in the Bitcoin white paper and the code for Bitcoin, like the original code .1, in April of 2019. And then he started suing a bunch of other uh, big players like Coinbase. He has a lawsuit with them, Kraken. He's just been going after, I don't know, the money, the bragging rights, I don't know, but he's been suing a bunch of people, and some people don't really like that. And so the Crypto Open Patent Alliance, COPA, they opened a lawsuit against Wright in the United Kingdom on February of this year. So this is pretty recent. This story's been developing really fast, and just the other day, like 4 days ago, let's see, yeah, March 14th, the judge ruled that Craig Wright is not Satoshi, didn't author the Bitcoin white paper. I will make certain declarations which I am satisfied are useful and are necessary to do justice between the parties. First, that Dr. Wright is not the author of the Bitcoin white paper. Second, Dr. Wright is not the person who adopted or operated under the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto in the period 08-11. Third, Dr. Wright is not the person who created the Bitcoin system. And fourth, he is not the author of the initial versions of Bitcoin. So dang. All right, big L for Craig, and for my idea that he was one of the four Satoshis. Okay, so this pretty much, it's a big key data point against Craig being one of the four Satoshis, but I don't really understand why he would go to such an effort with all these lawsuits. And I've listened to interviews of him speak, and I think he firmly believes that he is Satoshi Nakamoto, or at least one of them. Who really knows at the end of the day? I don't think it's super important who the four Satoshis actually are. It's more important that you know that there are four, and that the government knows, and they're trying to keep that a secret. All right, you have to ask why. Why do they not want us to know? Yeah, this case is still going. COPA wants to court orders to place limit on Wright's ability to sue others because he's just been going crazy. Now, I think it's interesting looking at who COPA is. All right, that's the Crypto Open Patent Alliance, and their members include Coinbase, MicroStrategy, that's Michael Saylor's company, Kraken, Coinbase and Kraken are two of the companies that Craig Wright has sued, so it makes sense why they're trying to shut him up. I haven't really heard of many of these other ones: Uniswap, BitPay, Stacks, um, WorldCoin. Is that WorldCoin? Oh, that is WorldCoin. Okay, so here's the decentralized ID coin where you scan your eyeball with their little orb. This is I think Sam Altman's thing. Anyway, it's just kind of interesting that this Crypto Open Patent Alliance, which has these members, specifically MicroStrategy, is suing Craig Wright, trying to get him to, hey, stop saying you are Satoshi. All right, he may not be, he might be one of the four. According to the judge's ruling, he is not. So, we can kind of cross him off our list with a light cross and maybe a couple question marks nearby. But anyway, let's go a little bit further. The other guy who I think could be one of the four Satoshi Nakamotos is none other than Ripple's trillion-dollar man, David Schwartz. So, if we look at David Schwartz's history, let me scroll down here to right here. In 2001, he landed at a company in Santa Clara, California called Webmaster, where he helped design an early cloud-based storage system. During his decade there, he also consulted for the National Security Agency, NSA. A lot of people don't know this, but Bitcoin's SHA-256 hashing algorithm, which is, how Bitcoin works, it was actually created by the NSA in 2001. Secure Hash Algorithm 2 is a set of cryptographic hash functions designed by United States Security Agency. United States National Security, NSA. published in 2001. Now, you might be saying, well, if he got there in 2001 and this was published in 2001, it's not likely that he was involved in the creation of this because, you know, it was just too short of a time for him to be there. But if we go to David's LinkedIn, all right, David Schwartz, CTO at Ripple, his time at Webmaster actually started 3 years prior to 2001, 1998. He was the director of software development. Okay, so I think it is completely practical to say that David Schwartz might have had a hand in developing SHA-256, which is the hashing algorithm that is used by Bitcoin. Right here, applications. Several cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, use SHA-256. So that's super interesting. David likes to kind of joke around about being Satoshi, but he has basically debunked this, unfortunately. In this tweet, kind of talking about how Craig Wright was claiming to be Satoshi. You can pause this and read that if you want. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Right here, Crypto Wolf comments, David Schwartz is Satoshi confirmed. JK LOL. Wouldn't be surprised if Satoshi is really the CIA or NSA. David comments, that's not a terrible theory. If the NSA or CIA happen to stumble upon how to make Bitcoin, it might make sense that they would implement and deploy it to eliminate the risk that someone hostile to the US would do it first and potentially make billions of dollars. It would also make sense that they would deploy this so that they would have control over the main thing that people are talking about while they get David to build the real thing they're going to use, XRP. You get what I'm saying there. So interesting, very, very interesting what David says right here. If we scroll down a little bit more, right here, Kyle says, just tell me you helped and I'll sleep better. Thanks. David says, I certainly could have been part of Satoshi. Nearly everything Satoshi did is within my capabilities. But sadly, I didn't find out about Bitcoin until 2011. Alright, well, there he is, debunking the myth. But just because he didn't find out about Bitcoin doesn't mean that the NSA could have contracted him to make Bitcoin or the critical infrastructure of Bitcoin without him knowing. Alright, just wanted to throw that idea out there. So anyway, so that's the main things that make you go about David being one of the four Satoshis. Now, moving on, I want to touch on some things about Bitcoin's very shady and nefarious early days and some of the evil people that were involved in Bitcoin's very early days and probably are still some of the largest holders of Bitcoin today. All right, so we're going to go to this magnificent mind map that I think it is Citizen of the Future or Tokenizer and XX, that guy with all the numbers in his name who makes the awesome graphs. They created this, and this is just a wealth of information if you want to research cryptocurrency. We're going to talk about some stuff that I'm not going to go too deep on because I want this video to stay on YouTube. I don't want it to be taken down. And so I'm not going to go super deep on everything, but I do want to just touch on some key individuals that were really involved in the early days of Bitcoin. And the first one is this guy right here. I'm not going to say his name, but hopefully you can see who that is. And he was super involved in the early days of Bitcoin, like 2010. He had a conference called Mindshift, okay, at his island. All right, the conference took place in 2010 on his private island. And so this was about making people aware of blockchain technology and how it's going to impact the world, basically. 2010, only 1 year after Bitcoin went live. And so if he had a conference put together only a year after Bitcoin was created, like, how early do you think he knew about it? Did he know as soon as it created? Could he know who the Satoshis are? Maybe. But so this Mindshift conference was in 2010. This guy later got really involved with this guy, Joey Ito, the MIT Media Lab. Okay, MIT's really connected into all this as well. There's a clip of Gary Gensler saying that some of his colleagues at MIT probably know who Satoshi Nakamoto is.
Nobody actually knows who Satoshi Nakamoto, well, maybe my former colleague at Goldman Sachs knows.
So I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that, this guy knows who it is. This guy probably does. Probably Gary Gensler knows. There's a, um, there's a dark ring, a dark, group of individuals out there who are very aware of Bitcoin. So one of the guys who attended that guy's Mindshift conference, let's see if we can find him. Here he is. One Brock Pierce. Okay. He was the co-founder of Tether. Co-founder of EOS, Alliance, Block One, Blockchain Capital, Tether, which is the largest Ponzi scheme ever known to man, Mastercoin, some other stuff. And so Tether was announced in 2014, and one of the co-founders was Brock Pierce. Now, Brock Pierce did attend the Mindshift conference that took place on that guy's island. Pierce visited the Virgin Islands to attend Mindshift. Now we know just kind of some of the individuals that were involved in the early days of crypto. And one of them being Brock Pierce, who created Tether, possibly an idea that sprang from the Mindshift conference. I think that Tether is the source of the manipulation that we see in the current market. Probably one of the biggest reasons why Bitcoin is still number one is because of Tether's unlimited money printing ability. There's a deeper question here. Could these people have been played? There is an idea out there. I'm not going to go super deep into it, but that Bitcoin was created as a sort of honeypot for the evil people, for the bad guys, like a trap, as a way for them to easily get around the financial institutions, the KYC and AML laws, but with a price to pay that I'm not sure that they might have fully realized what that price is. And that is that everything you do on a blockchain is recorded on that blockchain forever. And so, yeah, there's ways to make it harder to figure out your identity and stuff, but there's technology where you can piece it together. You can put the puzzle together. You can use AI now to map out these blockchains and to look at one wallet and where did that wallet send funds to. Okay, now these wallets are connected. You see where I'm going? Like, could Bitcoin have been created, one, to be kind of a distraction against gold and XRP, but two, to be a trap to catch all of these smugglers and traffickers in its web? Just an idea that I know some people out there subscribe to. I'm not too sure. Definitely seems like there's a lot more research that needs to be done. Just kind of putting that out there. These were the early players involved in the early days of crypto. All right, and probably, obviously these people have money, so probably some of the largest holders of Bitcoin to this day, individuals connected with this individual in these type of elite circles. Okay, so that's really what I wanted to go over in this video, is kind of the origins of Bitcoin, how the government knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is, but we don't, and they're very deep effort to make sure it stays that way. And also some of the more shady individuals involved in the early days who definitely probably are the largest holders. I don't know about all this white hat, black hat, stuff. I think the world is a lot more gray than just white and black. I think it's important to keep that in mind when you do your research. It's not just taking everything as black and white, going a little bit deeper and looking at things from different perspectives to just form a better thesis about what you think's going on. This by itself is not enough for me to say it's not Bitcoin. We're going to touch on the real, more critical reasons in the next two parts of this series. This is just kind of a more interesting look into the narrative surrounding Bitcoin. Do these individuals also know the outcome of all this, of utility, of XRP, the ISO tokens? I believe they do. And in that case, then, well, they're all just sticking to the plan. Everyone's paying attention to Bitcoin right now, while the real utility market is just about to emerge around the corner. The ETFs have created this institutional demand nonsense hype, and really all that is doing is getting a more older generation of investors in this asset class. It's just some more liquidity for them to pump it one more time before they leave, the boomers and retail Bitcoin maxis holding the bag, while they exit into things with real utility, which will be what creates the true generational wealth moving forward. So that's going to do it for Who is Satoshi? We still don't know who Satoshi Nakamoto is, but just go ask Homeland Security. I'm sure they'll tell you who the 4 Satoshis are. I hope you guys learned something, and I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are. Let me know in the comments who the 4 Satoshi Nakamotos are, if you know. I want to know who they are, alright? So let me know who you think Satoshi Nakamoto is. If you are Satoshi Nakamoto and are watching this video, let me know in the comments. Send me some Bitcoin so I can swap it for XRP. Alright, no, but for real, guys, thank you for watching the video. I hope that you got something from it. Leave a like and comment down below what you think. Subscribe to the channel, turn post notifications on so you don't miss out on the next video. We're going to start pumping these videos out more frequently. And yeah, hope everyone has an amazing rest of your day. Much love, and until next time, master your reality.
So who's Satoshi Nakamoto? We have just a handful of minutes, but can every table, each table is going to take 4 minutes, and amongst yourselves decide who's Satoshi Nakamoto. So how are we doing? Who's your answer to Satoshi Nakamoto?
We would say probably multiple people led by Hal Finney.
Okay, so the first one is multiple people probably led by Hal Finney. Hal Finney, Halfinney.
Something like within the government or a government?
So table number 2 is government actor, U.S. or foreign?
I don't know if it matters, but maybe U.S. Yeah.
U.S., but it might not matter. How are we doing over here? Dorian Nakamoto. So you're going with the Newsweek story. Yeah. Priya, sorry about the name thing before. Your table, where? Where's that? A bunch of crypto punks.
Plus economists. It's like a group of
So a group of crypto punks and economists, and how do you spell crypto punks though? Cypher punks. Cypher punks, actually. Cypher punks. Where are we here?
NSA.
Oh, the NSA. All right.
People with incentive and the capability.
Oh, so incentives and capability, you think it's NSA?
MIT.
MIT. Oh.
We said a guy named Gary Gensler.
There's a word for that, but I can't say that on tape. Kelly, Anton, and two Alines. What do we have here? Jahi?
Let's go in Nick Savo.
Nick Sabo, who is wrote the first paper on smart contracts.
That's the one we have too.
So Aviva is Nick Sabo. Oh, my hash table. I mean, who do you go for?
We actually did have him. Sabo.
Oh, all right. So another table, you can say that it's another table for Nick Sabo. You can put another vote next to him. Here?
We were going with you, Gary.
No, come on.
All right, we think it's Craig Stephen Wright.
Craig Wright, the Australian. Oh, my God. Oh, Patrick Burke's table is going to go last. Here? What's that? Bill Belichick. Alan Greenspan? Alan Greenspan. Now, I actually know Alan. He's really talented, but I don't think Andrea would let him do this. Here? Who do we have?
Me?
Yeah.
Kenta.
What's that?
Kenta.
Who?
Kenta said me.
No, but who? You're saying you invented it? No, this table. This table
is saying him.
Nick Sabo. So another for Nick Sabo. So does anybody want to tell us why it's the NSA? Oh, Patrick Merck. I'm sorry. What's this table?
Well, as I said, I don't know. And if I
Yeah,
did know,
really.
I would say that I don't know. So, and I would create as much obfuscation as possible. So I think it was like the worst person to have at a table for this, and I did them nothing but a disservice in their hunt for Satoshi. But I'll let somebody else here speak. No, I don't.
But if he did know, he would say he doesn't know. Derek, who did your table go for?
We said Craig Wright.
Craig Wright.
Leading
You can see my influence.
Oh my gosh. So let me ask this, because it's just for fun. 1 minute. Somebody said that it was the NSA. Do you want to say why?
Because arguably they have the most advanced cryptography in the world. And if anybody was doing this, to have a system where all the dark money in the world was flowing around, instead of $100 bills, you would create this and you create it in a way where you could hack it backwards and figure it out. And they have the capability.
Wow, Hugo.
Or the money is going from an error right now than it is to Bitcoin.
All right, so Hugo would say that if it was the NSA, it didn't work out for him too well. And those of you who said Craig Wright, I heard some others in the room that said no. So who said Craig Wright? Which two tables said Craig Wright? Why'd you pick Isabella and Ben? Why'd you pick Craig Wright?
So I read up on this a bit, and basically the people analyze the English used in the email, and they think it traced back to Australia, and then we Google from there.
All right, so just the language analytics for Craig Wright, and those who said it can't possibly be Craig Wright. Who did that? Aline.
Yeah, so he started a website and he said, oh, here's cryptographic proof that I'm Satoshi Nakamoto. But he actually botched it. Like, if you are Nakamoto, you can prove you're Nakamoto by spending the first coin. But he couldn't do that, so come on, man.
So Aline says he failed the test. He didn't spend the first coins from 2009. 3 tables picked Nick Sabo. Why'd you pick Nick Sabo? Just any one of the 3 tables? Because we're going to talk about him in the next lecture? No? All right, look, this was a bit of fun. I just thought it'd be worthwhile because the only person in the room that really knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is isn't going to tell us. But you're welcome back anytime. Thank you. I will see you next Tuesday. Remember, Larry Lessig is here, so please do the readings. Please, let's have a good time.